opportunity to respond to this particular initiative of the Commonwealth Government as announced by the Minister Tanya Plibersek today. I too acknowledge my friend and colleague Senator Kate Lundy and Andrew Leigh, ALP candidate for Fraser in the upcoming election, and other guests and indeed most particularly partners in this particular development, this project and proposal, CHC Community Housing, and its Chairman Ross Barrett, who are here today, and our joint venture partner through the LDA in the Cross Development, Scott Alexander, the Chief Executive of CIC, our joint venture partners here at Cross. And I think first and foremost, Minister, I wish simply to say thank you and to thank the government, the Commonwealth Government, your government, for its understanding and commitment to affordable housing and the needs of Australian families, and to thank you for the willingness of your government to work in partnership with states and territories and with local governments in delivering housing and affordable housing to the people that we represent. I'd like, before going to the details of today's announcement in relation to the Housing Affordability Fund, to repeat and to reiterate what I believe has been underscored in community commentary in recent times in relation to the absolutely fundamental importance of initiatives such as the Commonwealth Government's support for social housing through the stimulus package that was announced 2 years ago, not just in terms of the number of houses delivered, the raw statistics, the funding by the Commonwealth through the social housing stimulus part of its response to the GFC, in other words, the revision of 20,000 houses, social housing or public housing for Australians over a period of 2 to 3 years, not just the raw statistics around 20,000 additional Australian families being provided with affordable and appropriate housing, but the enormous effect and impact and importance of that funding in combating and dealing with the GFC, the most significant economic or financial crisis that the world faced in over 70 years, and the fact that we in Australia, through all our communities, were able to survive the global financial crisis in a way that no other of the Western or advanced economies were able to do. I'm at times surprised at how quickly we appear to forget the crisis that we were facing 2 years ago. I'm surprised and perhaps at times regretful of the fact that enormous effort that our federal colleagues within the federal Labor government stood up, faced the issue, responded strongly, dealt with the global financial crisis, allowed communities such as ours to maintain the levels of economic activity that we require in order to support and sustain the jobs that are important to all of us, and through the jobs and economic growth, the families that depend on governments to ensure that major crises such as we faced through the global financial crisis here in Australia were dealt with and overcome to the extent they were. One aspect of that, and the aspect we're talking about today, was housing. Our federal government, our federal Labor government, in that simple decision, a large, big picture, visionary decision to deal with the global financial crisis while supporting the housing needs of Australians, in one fell swoop has delivered 20,000 additional units of public housing. Here in the ACT, as the Minister just said, 380. But we took the opportunity to leverage off the Commonwealth's funding in excess of $100 million for this community to provide an additional 120 houses. We are in the process of delivering an additional 500 units of public housing here in the ACT as a result of the Commonwealth stimulus support for social housing, a 4% increase in a fell swoop to our public housing stock. Never achieved here in the ACT at any stage in our development, and the sort of increase in public housing stock never achieved anywhere in Australia that I'm aware of, probably in the lifetimes of any of us. That's the significance, the nation building, the significance to the community of what the Commonwealth did through the investment in social housing, through the decisions it made provide stimulus, and we should never forget that in the context of what this government has done, not just for housing, but in protecting our communities. So thank you for the enormous contribution to social housing and to affordability here in the ACT through the social housing initiatives that we've been pursuing vigorously over the last couple of years, and we're very pleased and proud of our record of delivery and of achievement. We're currently constructing in excess of 350 of what ultimately will be 380 houses funded by the Commonwealth, with the additional 120 which we have taken the opportunity through the leveraging capacity that the Commonwealth provided to provide an additional 500 for the community. Similarly, the Minister, and I won't go into any great detail in relation to it, has also announced the joint announcement which she and I attended just recently at the Australian National University to support or fund jointly an additional 1,000. These are, for a community such as ours here in the ACT, these are stunning numbers. 1,000 additional supported rental accommodation units here in the ACT through accommodation that we've delivered by the Australian National University. And again, these are stunning investments by the Commonwealth in partnership with the ACT and community providers, institutional providers here in the Territory. But to today's announcement, and the Minister has gone to the basis of funding and the rationale, is that the Commonwealth, through the announcement today, is supporting industry housing here in the ACT to the tune of $10 million in fast-tracking or assisting in the fast-tracking of the supply of service land. It's a supply-side initiative. It's the area where governments throughout Australia, local, state and territory, have had stress in supporting the supply side aspects of housing shortage or affordability, and we see this as a direct response by the Commonwealth Government to an area of stress that the states and territories, including the ACT Government, have faced in relation to the supply of service land and the provision, once the land is identified and the basic roads are developed, the other critical infrastructure such as water, sewage, transport and open space. And the Minister has outlined a significant impact it will have on affordability here, and I thank the Minister again for the Commonwealth Labor Government's commitment to housing affordability in all of its aspects, and it's only through this very broad-ranging suite of initiatives across the board that we as jurisdictions, that communities will get on top of the issue of providing appropriate and affordable accommodation for all our residents. So thank you for being here, and thank you again, Minister, for your enormous support.